Hi, I'm Yvonne Grier. I'm Staff Sergeant Carlo Grier's mother. I have a statement here my son wrote. I, Sergeant Grier, pushed my commander, CPT DeVault, and First Sergeant Gill to deal with two soldiers who were blatantly toxic. Sergeant Callista, who was targeting lower enlisted female soldiers, and Specialist Gomez, who moved her boyfriend into the barracks with her. I also encouraged a soldier to file a complaint against the NCO who was bullying her, Sergeant Woodhead. When I came out of my surgery shortly after, my soldiers attacked my credibility, and my commander was too much of a coward to stand in the right place. This is why NCOs choose not to do this anymore. My commander was too busy trying to prosecute Staff Sergeant Seeley to do the right thing or stand in the right place or listen to reason. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking away the thing that I love the most. Carlo wrote this on January 31st, 23. These are the things they used against him: toxic work environment, abuse of power, retaliatory discipline, flexing of muscles, sleep deprivation, which is 44 or 45. I think that's against the Geneva Convention. Reverse discrimination, filing false reports, filing false charges, lying under oath, persecution, violation of Carlo's civil rights, involuntary manslaughter, psychology, welfare, stripping him of his rank, malicious prosecution, taking his pay and stripped him of his security clearances. My son was in 464 out of Lapeer, Michigan. He was raised in Flint, Michigan. He was in 464 for 13 years and 17 years, Anyhow, he went to Fort Lewis McChord in Tacoma, Washington in 2020. He's never been in trouble, never had any problems with anybody. Very highly intelligent young man, and just a terrific soldier, person, everything all around. And they just destroyed his career over nothing. We have the paperwork to prove that they're lying. I've got all of his testimonies. I've got at least 40 letters from other people that have been in the Army from college all the way through with him. You know, what do you do? What do you do? He had no help. He reached out, and nobody backed him. The people that were involved in this, the good people, his fellow sergeants and stuff, told him this wasn't going on. They interviewed everybody, but they did it wrongly. We had to get an attorney and try and get it straightened out. These people are directly responsible for my son's death. Sergeant Woodheads, who started this mess, Brigadier General Bernard Harrington, Joseph DeFault, Sergeant Timothy B. Lynch, First Sergeant Francis R. Gill, and Second Commander LFT, whatever that is, Cree. They could have stopped this. They could have stepped in and stopped it, because everything they said was lies, and they didn't. They worried my son till the day he died. They took in, put charges against him. We have papers from his attorney showing that all the people they interviewed after the Army interviewed them, sworn statements showing that he did not say what they did. They said he was bullying and mistreating and being sexually oriented to the girls or whomsoever, and he wasn't. He was a terrific soldier, person, all the way around. These are all the people that supposedly made complaints about him. They said they didn't say that. They did not say that. They said all the testimony that the Army had was false. It was twisted. They turned it around to make it seem horrible. And he didn't do any of this stuff. And yet they still persecuted him. November that year, he had surgery. They kept putting it off, and he had to have emergency surgery. He went back on base 2 days later, after he had the surgery, one of his kids were graduating, getting pinned, and he went on back on base to this grad. Could barely walk, but he went because it's one of his guys, one of his soldiers. When he went back, this mess started. Woodhead was bullying people, ladies in particular, and one girl filed a complaint on him, and he said, Carlo just told her, he said, I don't know what to tell you. I can't do it for you. You have to do it yourself. So, if that's really what you want to do, and I've got testimony to do that. And she filed on him. In the meantime, Woodhead said, well, she files on me, I'm filing on Carlo. No reason, vindictive, meanness, orniness, nastiness, all lies. And I've got the quotes and everything to prove that as well. I'm just tired. I'm tired. My son is gone. I'm trying to get him some justice. And it's not just my son. 2 weeks ago, I got a call out of Tacoma that another one of our soldiers, like they used to call it out there, bit the dust. This is bullshit. I'm sorry. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not doing their jobs. My son was 6'4", weighed maybe 204 pounds. He could run a damn 4-minute mile on his best day. After his surgery, he couldn't. Well educated, he went to Flint Mott College. During school, he was one of the first ones to go into the Excel program. He had an IQ of 197. Really, really smart kid, well articulated, and I've got statements from all the sergeants and stuff he worked with all the way through, from the school district all the way up. And they're all notarized, where people have stepped up and tried to help with this. I'm not sure if Carlo wrote this or not. It's a poem. I do believe he wrote it. In 2012, I am an American. You need not apologize, nor will I accept those apologies for us by others. If you dislike me not for what I am, but for what you are not. My own sweat, I have created a lifestyle which I have desired for all men. To the world, I have shared my wealth and given my blood, not out of obligation, but by my free will. I have fed the hungry of the world. Many bit my hand, but I used the other one. I defeated my enemies in battle, then pulled them up from the ashes of defeat. Once strong, they again attacked. I turned the other cheek. Though I am strong, I have never misused it. So do not misjudge me. I will not allow the fear of my own strength to become weakness. Wish to rise, I will give you a helping hand, but by the grace of God, I'll first be damned rather than let you drag me down so that we may be equal. And that's the way Carlo felt. He was there. He helped everybody. He worked all of he called them his kids, his soldiers, had their eyes fixed out there. He helped them do their tests and stuff to get to the next level. He just was an all-around good person. For them to do this is cruel and inhumane. I have the last thing they sent me. Said that there also is evident that the disciplinary action opposed for his misconduct, which is questionable because everything they did was a lie, led to his mental illness. He wasn't mental illness. They said right up today they didn't think he was crazy. He wasn't. He was just tired. They broke him down. They broke him down so damn bad. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. This is unfair. This is my son, Carlo Grier. He's a staff sergeant. I'm looking for justice. I've called. I don't email or any of that. I'm 73 years old. This is my youngest child. I had him when I was 30. I wasn't supposed, 35. I wasn't supposed to be able to have any kids, period. But I managed a couple. But anyhow, how in the world, this is his last award, which I have books and books and books of them. I have stuff from the city of Flint. Carlo actually ran the water deployment stuff out of Dort Highway and out on Clown Pearson Road for, what, 2 years, 3 years? Ran them. I offer my most sincere, heartfelt sympathy. They gave him an award, 2 of them actually, for running the water department. We have just oodles and oodles of letters here and more coming in about people testifying to the type of person he was. Even the people that he worked with out there told him he was a nice guy. My name is Staff Sergeant Marshawn L. Burton. I currently serve as Senior Human Resources. I met Sergeant Grier around September 2020, first as a section chief, then as part of the battalion staff. Since I've known him, I have witnessed his work ethics, professionalism, and ability to lead. He has the type of work ethic that you don't see a lot. As an example, he is constantly standing side by side with his soldiers and assisting whenever necessary. Even while injured and sick, he has gone far beyond every other soldier, NCO, and officers in and outside of our organization. Sergeant Grier possesses a drive, a motivation that sets him above others at his rank and position. Instead of only supervising his soldiers doing work no matter what the time of day or night or week it is, I have personally witnessed him performing his soldiers' duties for them to have, so they could have some time, additional time off. Sergeant Grier has assisted me not only in my professional career, but also in my personal life. There have been many times in which I have contacted Grier on the weekend or holiday and asked for assistance, and he has been there for me every time. It's signed and notarized. My name is Staff Sergeant Franz Yapto. I serve with Sergeant Grier in 5-3 FA since September 2021. Sergeant Grier is trustworthy, reliable, consistently works to ensure mission's success. He is strong enforcer of standards at all levels and ensure that tasks were done in a timely and accurate manner. He has never crossed a professional boundary. I have a statement from Sergeant Bullock. The young lady that filed the charges against Woodhead, she finally did file charges anyhow. Sergeant Woodhead stated that if he gets brought up on an investigation, that he would also start one on Sergeant Grier. He did exactly that. In some of the papers, they won't tell you who did it. They black out stuff, but everything he always says. He's too young for that position. He doesn't know how to work with people. He's never there. He can't do anything right. And he bullies and, harasses everybody and everything else. In the one section of this, his name has been brought up like 15, 20 times. It's always Sergeant Woodhead, Sergeant Woodhead, Sergeant Woodhead. And they didn't even when they did his 15-6 investigation report concerning his death and everything else, his whole career and everything. You see, anything that says that's deplorable to Carlo is from Woodhead and nobody else but Woodhead. And he's going on with his life like nothing happens. No, this doesn't work this way. My son's been overseas he's served in Afghanistan twice. He's been to Iraq and Persian Gulf. He's been all over the place. He worked at the 1265 or 1225th out of Detroit. He worked at the FBI in Flint as security. He worked in Lansing. He's been a recruiter. He's done a little bit and a lot of everything. And he's just all-around kid. And as far as I'm concerned, he was murdered. They may not put the gun in his hand or pull the trigger, but they pushed him to that point, and that's what they're doing. That's why we're having so many suicides. You got toxic leadership, big time. He would complain about officer that was making, having problems with the younger girls, and he took it to the people above him, which he was supposed to do, and they swept it under the rug. They tend to do that. He was perfectly honest, to the point. We got all his records and everything. This is my statement, being his mom, that I made at his memorial service, which he had one out there, and they wouldn't let me put it out there. They had one in Gaylord, Grayling, and we had one at the funeral services. Today we are here to honor and memorialize my son, Staff Sergeant Carlo Grier. Being his mom, I get to handle this part of the program with his blessings. You all know Army Grier. I know him in his integrity as my son, protector, friend, partner, lover of life, and the Army. An old friend is here today. Well, he's not here, but he was there. He helped me get through with it. Carlo was born June 30th, 86. He always was a remarkable child and even got better as he grew into a young man. Carlo attended high school in a program called Excel for extremely high gifted children. This meant he took college level courses at Mott Community College along with his regular school courses of education. While at Mott, they made him a junior wrestling coach because he had never been pinned, and he stepped up and helped with everything. After graduation, he went on his own and enlisted in the Michigan Army National Guard. He spent numerous years there and was deployed twice to Afghanistan and served in the Persian Gulf and Iraq as well. Carlo's grandfather and all his uncles have all been in the Army. He wanted to do that as well. My family has served for 100 years. You just threw my son away. Unbelievable. My son was very articulate, well-read. He had a double associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and was working on his master's in criminology, military criminology. Carlo was fluent with reading, writing, and speaking in Hebrew, Dani, and Japanese, and several other languages. During his career, he has only worked federal jobs. He was a great carpenter and could build a house from scratch, doing it all from the farming, framing, wiring, and plumbing, etc. He was a mechanic, master gardener, and he loved animals. There wasn't anything he could not fix. His greatest loves in his life were me, his family, his Army family, and friends, and his sarsaparilla, his cat. Carlo loved to travel and tinker. Ballroom dancing, fencing, drawing, horseback riding, he did it. Whatever he did, he put his whole heart and soul into it. But first and foremost, he loved the Army. Carlo considered you all his kids and trained you up in the services. If you got in trouble or had a problem, he would be there to stand up and defend you and help you and fix it. He enjoyed mentoring young people and bringing them up, and he was a stickler for details. He wouldn't let you get off with showing you once or twice or telling you one time. He would jump in and walk you through it 10, 15 times if that's what it took to make sure he was certain you knew what it was you were supposed to do and how to do it. It was probably a pain in your butt, but he made it his personal business that you know your stuff and succeed. He was honest to a fault. He did not mind hurting your feelings. Right was right, period. Carlo loved to debate. He had an IQ of 197. He was tested when he was 7 years old and scared the hell out of the person testing him. He was well beyond where he should have been. He was born old and was reading National Geographic with me at the age of 3 years old. He loved people and solving their problems. He was proud and arrogant at times, but he knew his limits. He had a pure, lovely sense of humor and was funny as hell and a joy to be around. He was nurturing and kind. He was my son, and everybody who knew him loved him and respected him. He was a great soldier. He was a fantastic man and always has been. He will be long remembered, and his memory will live on in the heads, hearts, and souls of everyone who knew him. He has always been there for everyone, me included, and a joy to be around. He will be greatly missed. My heart aches for my son, but I know he's in a better place. He is no longer in a place where jealousies and envious people can hurt him. a place where people try to destroy a God-given gift to make themselves feel like bigger men. My name is Yvonne Grier. I am his mother for 36 years, 6 months and 1 day, and I will cherish him to the day I die. His name was Carlo P. Grier II, and he will live on in the hearts of those who matter forever. No toxic work environment, abuse of power, retaliatory discipline, or suspensions, or lies, flexing of your muscles, whatever. You must understand, we're a little bit of everything. Jewish, Cherokee, we got some Scotch-Irish thrown in, black. And Indian, of course. It's my child that has been wounded. And you tried to destroy. You took away a life, the army, that he dearly loved. And you took him away from me and his family. And all that loved and cared for him. He has only me to defend his honor and innocence. And being the hard-ass bitch that I am in his defense of my son and the damage you have done to me and our family, know that I will not forgive and forget. You know who you are, and you know what you have done, and so do I. My son dropped the flag, and I'm picking it up and carrying it for him in my own way. I've got this, son. I'm heartbroken, angry mother, which makes me your worst nightmare. A mother's love is forever. Nobody can break it or kill it, no matter how hard they try. I love you, Carlo, and may you rest in eternal peace forever, darling. And I said goodbye to my son. And I live with a heartache in the memories every day of what they put him through. He was totally innocent. We got all the papers, all the no right statements, everything, showing that he was innocent. And they knew, and they totally disregarded it and kept right on pushing because he was such a great guy. They couldn't stand it. We've never had anybody in our lifetimes treat us like this, but they did. They treated us like criminals, like dirt. He was an outstanding young man. To me, he could have been the president someday. You never know. He was intelligent enough to, but he's gone. And I need some closure. And I need to get this straightened around for him. They had no business doing it. They knew they had no business doing it, but they did it anyhow, for laughs or whatever. From the top, to the top, all the way through. When you got fellow sergeants and everybody else, he's never in his life had any problems anywhere, army or anything. They stayed right in here. He's never been just up, 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 and people couldn't stand that. You know, you get ahead by working with these kids and training them up and teaching them firsthand to be better soldiers, to go to school, to get their education, whatever. And some people don't want to put forth the effort and get mad because other people do. They get jealous because people like them a little bit better than you. Well, be a nicer, a better person, a better officer, whatever it may be, and you won't have that problem. My son didn't have that problem. He got along with everybody. The nice thing is, he was articulate with his stuff. I'm kind of clumsy. I'm 73. I'll soon be 74. But we got all of his paperwork, everything. And we got all of his sworn statements and everything. All his testimonials, everything. All his witness statements, notarized, in order, everything. I want justice for my child. And that's where I stand and where I will stand till the day I die, or this is taken care of. If you want to reach me, reach Ashley Standby. 586-994-0905. She's handling because at my age, I never had to worry about learning to text or anything because my emailing, all that stuff. My son took care of that. Mama, don't worry about it. And I've been in limbo for months. Just totally brain dead. There's a whole year I totally lost. And I'm trying to find myself and get my head straight. I woke up 3 weeks ago, in the middle of the night, my son woke me up and said, Mom, get him. You've been got. Mom's got it, honey. Whomsoever out there, know Mom's coming. And that's where I'm at, and that's where I'll finish this. I love my son. Everybody loved my son. My son shouldn't be dead. It's on his blood. His death is on somebody else's hands. Not because he was a bad kid, but because he was superior.